All right, and at this point, I would like to say both of you, one gaseous form and Haribo, are slowly kind of walking back to the scene, just so we can.
I'm floating back.
Yeah, you're floating back, but Haribo, I
And
would say you.
Haribo still, like,
Yeah.
Haribo at this point is like a rose gold kind of color, so you can't really tell that he's been crying a lot
Yeah.
outside of the cute, clearly wet face.
Yeah. Sobby animu tears, I would presume.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you see Haribo and a reddish gaseous form kind of walk up as they're in silence almost at this point as they walk up.
I'm in prayer
Winslow,
and not
Miles.
paying attention to them.
All right, Winslow,
Okay.
you see them walk back.
And was the Miniar in the gaseous form earlier?
Yeah, you saw him turn into it and poof
Okay.
off.
And
Yeah,
flee
so
the
you know
scene.
it's him. Yeah.
So what do you two suppose we do?
Are they back, Winslow?
I thought they were.
They are.
Yeah, we are. We're at least close to Winslow. I
Ah.
don't know if you said you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, but if I hear Winslow talking, I'm gonna assume Harbo has come back with someone from the manor.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah. If someone from the manor means the Miniar.
This is Fart from Rick and Morty.
All right.
Winslow, what all do you know? Tell the Miniar again. And I'm like,
Is the
holding back.
Miniar's back?
Stop. Shut up, Miles.
What do you mean?
Talk that big people need to talk.
We have a lot to tell you. But first,
Yeah.
we need to hear from Winslow.
The only thing holding me back from fighting the Miniar right now is that it would ruin my concentration on preparing gentle repose for Gilly.
Okay. So Haribo's still trying to sob out. Please tell Zaminiar exactly what happened when you disappeared on the ship.
Well, I don't really remember. All I really remember is just waking up in the box.
Riveting.
Seen that, like before you woke up in the box.
I'm telling you, I don't really remember.
Do you remember anything about the place where you were at?
Everything's just very foggy and doesn't quite. I can't really connect any dots.
A thrilling line of questioning. Is Ziminier trying to convince you he's not guilty of this somehow?
Yo, Miles, do you remember me telling you to get her a potion earlier? What kind of killer wants his victim to be able to say that he
What a
killed
flimsy excuse! You really think you really think that asking someone for a potion to throw on a dead body really absolves them of their crime? You think that the potion's gonna bring her back from the dead, and then she's gonna somehow say that, oh, Ziminier didn't do it because I threw a potion on a dead body. And suddenly you really think that just because you offered to help after she's already dead, that means that you did nothing wrong?
No, you missed the point entirely of what I said, and I'm done talking to you. Winslow, did you have any moment other than that where you went into the other area, the other space?
No, that's the only moment that seems like I was somewhere else, but again, anything I remember about that is really not useful.
When you disappeared, did you see a bright light? Kind of
I,
like when we go back and forth to the future?
I don't believe so.
Hmm.
What does this have any importance to the situation at hand?
It's very important. Trust me. The Dominion, when you were knocked out the first time, what did that feel like? Maybe that's the connection between you and Winslow, disappearing into that whatever, where you're from.
Well, the thing is, I didn't really feel a difference. I didn't get knocked out into the areas. Each time I was just with you guys 1 second and then gone the next. The next, it was like blinking and then suddenly going somewhere else. Kind of like when we went to the future. But a lot less happy than when we went to the future. In fact, 100,000 times % less happy. And this time, it was happy for about 10 seconds. Until it wasn't.
This is helping me.
But in any case, with what Miles said, from what I can tell, and from looking around, you guys are the only ones that saw it. And if Miles would use his head for a second, he would realize that no one is dumb enough to think that, oh, I punched someone off an edge and now I'm going to say I threw a potion on her and it's all better. No. No. If I'm in a gaseous form and I will be like this for an hour because of people like Miles who can't think. And if I really did it, I wouldn't have shown myself up there. I wouldn't have waited up there. I would have just done it and moved on. That's my style. Or I would have lit the whole castle on fire because that's my style. And most of you have seen me do things like this at a bar, in front of a royal member. So why would I ever do something so immediately
Your excuses are so flimsy, and you think we're the ones who can't think.
Because you can't think. And if you would have ever paid attention to anyone besides your damn self and the damn egg, you would have noticed that by now.
You're just...
You haven't picked up on
You really think that you're so convincing when your suggestions carry no merit. You really think that if you were guilty, you wouldn't try and throw a potion on a dead body just to throw the blame somewhere else? Oh, I killed this person, but if I throw this potion, everyone will suddenly believe that I'm innocent. Right, that's how it works.
You are really too stupid to reason with.
You truly think that's convincing,
I don't
huh?
think that he would ever actually listen to the truth if we told him.
Well, I'm sure the truth is very convenient for you.
It wasn't, actually. In fact, all of it sucks. And the only way that I could prove what really happened is by proving that a god exists. And I don't know how to do that, other than saying, your egg exists, even though I've never seen it. Except I have, about 10 minutes ago, and when I was gone. Oh, wait. Here's one for you, Miles. People have disappeared in front of you, gone back and forth in time several times, and you think everything in front of you is just the thing you have to believe. Why? You can't think outside the box for 2 minutes because you don't bother getting to know those around you, and you don't bother to realize that this shit is fucked.
You're being ridiculous. Of course I know that people have been disappearing and going through time. I went through time myself. I'm just saying that your excuses, your claims of innocence, are just lies. Because who wouldn't lie when they've been caught with their pants down? Who wouldn't lie to cover themselves up?
I would have made a show of it. You morons. And you would know that had you ever paid attention to the group.
Of course I paid attention, enough to know that you're completely incompetent. You can't get away with this because you just can't do things right. You make mistakes all the time. You're sloppy. And that's why we got you. And now you're trying to pretend that this wasn't you? Give me a break.
If it was me, I would have just kept using my gaseous form and gotten the hell out of here. I got away from you easy enough.
Yeah, you're still in gaseous form, you fool. You're still
because you're here, and you're still being an idiot.
Yeah, you're still gonna fly away as soon as there's the first sign of trouble. The first sign that we don't believe you.
And at this point,
fine. How about
can you...
After the dark...
After
at this
what?
Point, can you all... Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Sorry, I'm just trying to hear what Ziminero is saying.
Fine. If you're so damn smart, what happened after I disappeared? Fill in the gaps for me. Because clearly you're too dumb to see the truth in front of you. Maybe I can use something that you guys experienced while I disappeared into the past again.
Oh yeah, if you think disappear. Oh, sorry. What's happening now?
Yeah, could you all roll perception check for me?
With disadvantage since we're arguing, so
Yeah, you and Zeminiar will be at disadvantage. Haribo and Winslow, you both will be at normal.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Cass.
You're good.
Perception?
Alright. Yeah.
disadvantage.
God!
Oh, no.
Nice.
This is his third nat one, mind you. So all of you actually notice it, except for Zeminiar. Everyone else notices it. You guys hear suddenly, like, in this little pond next to you, just like a stone, like, being thrown into it, almost. Like, you hear, like, a few stones get thrown into it, kind of like in the break of an argument right before, we'll say Zeminiar is about to reply. What do you guys do?
Look for the source.
I do not.
Well, Zeminiar doesn't hear it. Do the rest of you go and look at the pond?
Yes.
I want to use my locate spell.
Okay.
Nope. There's that.
Yep. So you look, and all of you at the same time, we'll say you guys are standing a bit closer together. As you're looking in the pond, you see behind you guys, almost standing behind you, looming. You see a very familiar face, but it looks slightly older. You all see Hamlet kind of behind you guys in the, like, reflection of the water.
Gasp.
I obviously turned behind me.
And there's no one there, except for Zeminiar just, like, floating as a pile of just, like, essentially blood dust. He's just floating.
I turn to Zeminiar immediately. Zeminiar, you have to come here and look at this. I think it's Hamlet.
What? Hamlet?
I tried to talk to Hamlet.
Wait, Zeminiar, don't do anything rash.
Zeminiar turns back from gaseous form and starts and with the weapon.
Alright, and as you walk up to the pond, I assume, you also, as Zeminiar walks up, you just see this older Hamlet kind of do this, like, very sinister grin almost, and then just fade away, as all four of you are then looking at it.
What's going on?
Now, yeah, I'm not privy to the information that Siminyar thinks I'm privy to, so I'm gonna insight on that, okay?
Yeah.
Hippo wants to... Let's see...
You find it odd that as soon as, like, all four of you saw it, like, you see Hamlet grinning and then fading away. You just find it odd, but you don't necessarily tie it to Zeminiar.
Do I tie it to the dead body?
Check, even though he says
Yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah. Ooh, you do not... You sense magic, but it's more of, like, a spiritual feeling that you get. Like, you feel like you've been almost cursed, in a sense, but also blessed. Like, you just have, like, this knot in your feeling that this isn't good, but you feel comforted, almost, by the sight.
Miles, you're much more... And I kind of explain a little bit, that kind of feeling, and I just go, I feel like, Miles, if you do kind of a spiritual check or something, you're much more in tune with your religious side than really any of us are. Sorry, Winslow.
I'm gonna need a more in-game kind of suggestion than that.
Well, yeah. Do you...
Hamlet, spirit, faith. Can you do anything to see if you can track him using the methods that you were given?
Why?
Yeah,
Are you...
Can you by chance maybe communicate with the Great Egg to see if there's any reason spiritually why, I guess, Hamlet would be here?
No, I've been already...
Clearly, he's not here by magic.
The
At least
egg
from
knows
what I can
all.
tell.
You pick the answers from it.
I do get
Right.
what Haribo is getting at. Um, I'm not entirely clear how he came to the conclusion that uh, that that wasn't magic per se, but I am already trying to commune with the Great Egg, so I guess I reach out with to speak to my deity again and inquire about Harold and or about Hamlet.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you're pondering this, you get this feeling of like you are reaching out and you hear like a very beautiful voice of a woman starting to speak, and then you just hear it abruptly cut off, and you just hear like just like almost not like necessarily static, but just like commotion going on almost. And then you hear the woman come back saying, I can't answer that right now.
Is that how prayer works? I've never encountered that before.
Yeah. It's very bizarre, but like you sit there and like you feel like as you like she was trying to communicate, but something stopped her. So she almost held herself back as you heard your goddess essentially talk to you, but she couldn't say what she wanted to say.
I try and phrase my question a little bit differently, um, avoiding Hamlet altogether, and asking, I guess, about Gilly, and if Gilly's death was perhaps um, on Ziminyar's hands.
And she does say it was not Zeminiar's hands. It was an unfortunate circumstance, is what she says.
I try to pry more into the circumstance then.
And she sits there, she goes, I cannot explain that at this time. You will soon learn, my child.
Are you displeased with me? The sacrifices have not been enough? Now, this
And
isn't
she's like,
out
I
loud
am
to the
work-
party or anything.
No, I just,
Mentally?
yeah, just all of them. She's like, no, you've been doing great work, but your mission will soon change, my child.
But
I didn't realize we had a Dexter.
but I've been so faithful.
I cannot say more. You will still be faithful, and even more so, my sweet child, as you just feel like caressed by like a mother's love almost, and then you receive no further answers.
Well, I guess I keep preparing my spells though until they are refreshed.
Yep.
I give
Can you-
Ziminyar a dirty look but do not go into
The
detail.
great egg likes him better.
Can you
If it
roll
makes it
another
better,
perception check for me?
All of us?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay at disadvantage just because Zeminiar's going through a blinding rage.
Yeah, that is fair. Please, no more nat ones. We got one more for disadvantage. If you're gonna...
We just went offline.
We did?
Oh, did you?
Wait.
No,
Okay,
you
no,
weren't.
my internet bugging out for a second, sorry.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
you're
we're
good.
fine.
So, we'll take the nat 20. And so Miles, Haribo, and Zeminiar. Zeminiar especially. Just overall, Haribo and Miles, you guys can hear that there is some sort of commotion going on up front, and you hear maybe someone walking through the woods towards you guys, but you could tell people are starting to move into different areas. Zeminiar, you can actually hear, like, clearly almost, the guy shouting, being like, we need to look on the back. She's not up front here. Move back. And you hear one of the guard captains, like, kind of shouting this, and you hear the echo pretty clearly.
This is a frustrating situation.
Okay.
What?
You were cutting out there, Siminiar.
What did Miles say? Because I think he was talking first.
I said this is a frustrating situation.
You can say that again, Miles.
I guess
I could my gaseous form for this. Oh
It's-
well.
it's time for us to call out that we found her, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
I called to the guards that she's over here.
yeah.
Okay.
What do we tell them?
Nothing. Just say we just found her.
Excuse. You know what?
All
I'm not
four
gonna
of
look
us
good.
just found her.
Okay.
And as you guys are shouting, you see guards come up, and they then have
Oh,
the look of
God.
horror. And as they see Gilly dead, and they're like, you hear them like kind of mumbling to themselves as they, a few of the guards run off. A group of like 5 came back here, and they're like, and the other guard is being commanded to kind of take you guys inside into where your guys' quarters were and where you were going to be staying for the night.
I tell them that I've just begun preparing gentle repose. We found her like this.
Thank you for telling us. The Duke Luke of Gelbswurst is here along with his wife Annalise. They arrived recently.
It
And
looks, it looks like she's fallen from somewhere up high. Some windows must have.
yes.
She's very, what's the word? She sneaks around a lot. A free spirit. We must not have checked every window well enough.
Unfortunately, we found one of our guards that was in the announcement room or the announcement hall. He was dead as well. The one that usually watches guard to the steps up the tower.
What
He
killed
was
him?
found dead. He was crushed by one of the statues had fallen over and crushed him.
That's not
Uh,
something.
We
That's,
Can you
will
repeat
get you
that,
to your
please?
quarters. What?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Dungeon Master? Because my connection must have got bad for a second, and I didn't hear what you were saying.
It's okay. So essentially, the guard explains how they think Gilly would have gotten up there, because in the announcement hall there was a guard found crushed by one of the statues, one of the large wooden or stone statues, had fallen and crushed him.
they think that Gilly pushed over a statue and crushed a guard.
They at least say that guard was dead and crushed by this statue. And
Yes, yeah. I guess
there's
we're
a
all-
stairway that leads up that tall tower that the roof that she would have been falling from. They believe that either he was dead prior and she went in there, or somehow that guard died, and they think that's how she got onto the roof based on when they're looking at the fall and whatnot.